and welcome to In Between Sets podcast. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Abigail.
Yeah, this is episode 3. Man, we are rolling.
I love that you start everyone with and
action. I'll figure out like an intro for us, and maybe we'll also
we'll
get
get
like
there one day.
Music,
Yeah.
the things that all people have. But we're this is why we do this. Anyway, no, I'm here with God's silliest goose.
You know,
Actually, that was my hat.
it is your hat.
When I moved. So I
You
lived
left it.
I lived with Abigail for not like a full year, but like 9-10
Somewhere
months,
around there,
something
yeah.
like that. I was in an apartment in Fort Worth.
No, it was exactly a year.
Was it?
Yeah.
And then you were like, I'm buying a house in Fort Worth because she was at Granbury at the time, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, cool, I'll live with you. And then it was literally like 2 months of just us by ourselves. And she goes, and so I met this guy, going on a date with him and blah, blah, blah. And then like 6 months later, they're engaged.
I'm engaged.
So,
My man moves quick.
yeah, he does. He don't waste no time.
wastes
He said,
no
lock that
time.
down. So then it became me, Abigail, and Kyle.
Yes.
And
One big happy family.
One big happy family for about a year.
What's so funny too is when you were talking about moving out, I'm like, but you don't have to.
I know.
And you're like, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're married. I need to get out.
Yep.
And
It's
like
time
you
to
and
do
Kyle
this.
were like, no, she can stay. I was like, this is not sister wives. I'm not in this marriage. I'm going to get out.
You need to learn how to
I'm
be
a
wife.
33-year-old adult. I really don't even have to be here. Like I can afford my own place.
Yes.
Like, as much as enjoyable as this has been.
Yes.
But literally, if the only reason I really moved out was one, the train and like the location of the house in Saginaw
Yeah.
was just
Y'all will start to hear the new house hunting journey soon.
yes. And so
because-
that was it. And then I just wanted to be a little closer into Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And then also we had 3 dogs, and so
We did.
it was just a lot. And Emma is a big girl, like she's 100 pounds,
Yeah,
and then you have
she
Uriah,
sheds a lot.
and then you have Rory,
Yeah.
and then
It was a zoo.
It was just a zoo. It was great. It,
It
was a
kind of
great
was
zoo.
Sister Wives there
Yeah,
for a sec.
it was great. It was a great zoo. But yeah, that's why I moved out. But I left that hat, and because I was like, this doesn't look good on me, and it looks so cute on her. So
Thanks.
anyway,
I have a hat head, so I've been told.
yes, I do too. But it's the
We'll see how
top.
it looks on camera. But
Yeah, it's
you
the
know.
top for me. It didn't look great anyway. So, that's a little bit of our lore. Actually, it's just that time that we lived together,
Mhm.
which was not a great time for me, to be really honest.
The fire pit dogs.
Jeez Louise, that was just a rough time for me. But that's okay, because that's why I probably lived with you in that time.
Yeah.
I feel like God was just kind of like, hey, go move here because we're about to put you
We
through
both
the
needed
ringer.
it. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was kind of a tough
What's
time.
nice is we kind of go back and forth. Like you're in a dark time, and I'm like,
Fine.
la la la,
La, la, la.
and then I go through it, and you're like, but I'm great.
Yeah.
This and that. Aside from 2022, both late cast, both struggling.
Both struggling, but
But-
that's okay.
Yeah.
Today's episode is going to be about the different mindsets behind, I think, fitness and maybe like overall life
Yeah.
encompassing as well.
Like really specifically the whole all or nothing
Yeah.
mindset.
And how, if you're really struggling with that all or nothing mindset of trying different things, trying new things, especially if you listen to last episode, you're just like, man, I can't get a hold of this fitness journey. I can't get.
I'm always starting over.
I'm always starting over. We're going to talk about like dismantling a lot of those beliefs, like especially around like the spinning of the wheel or
Yeah.
even this wheel in general. It's like my biggest pet peeve about like fitness.
Well, and this specific mindset too. Oops. It's for sure fitness again. Like that's like where we like
Mhm.
have the most experience, like what we see all the time. But like this is like about everything. Like the whole all or nothing when it comes to like college, starting a business, your career, this whole thing of like all in or no part of it type of thing.
Right.
So yeah, fitness for sure, but this one's like for sure every part of life.
Do you feel like you ever? I know that we both really love discipline, and we both really love like. I think there is. I'm gonna preface like I think there is something to be said and something beautiful about being all in.
Yeah.
Right, like you have to be all in on something.
And certain seasons require you
Yeah,
to be all
I call
in.
that the sprint.
Yeah.
Like the sprint season where you're just like, I'm going to go as hard as possible
Mhm.
that I can for a very short amount of time because of like just a sprinter. You can't sprint a I was gonna say you can't sprint a mile. There are people that sprint a mile. You can't sprint a marathon. How about that?
Yeah.
But there are
Some people.
some freaks
Yeah.
out there. But like there are times in your life where you do need to have a sprint for
Right.
2 weeks, 4 weeks. Not my mom calling. But
Bring her in live.
yeah, bring her. Mom, you're on. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. She would freak out.
Yeah, right. She'd be like, hi.
I know. But then there are times when that's just not sustainable.
Yeah.
Like doing the sprinting, doing the extreme, like you're just all in all the time. And so do you ever feel like there were times in your life where you really struggled with all or nothing?
Yeah, I think for a long time, like, I mean, the easiest one, I'll just talk fitness first, is I think about the time where, like, it was like one challenge after the next.
Right.
Of like, and don't get me wrong, again, we will talk about like the benefits to doing a 75 hard, a 6 week challenge, a whatever the case may be. But when you get in this like rat race, if you will, of 6 week challenge, bounce back, 6 week challenge, bounce back, 6 week challenge, bounce back, it's like, for what? Like, for if you're not, again, if you are not aspiring to go to the CrossFit Games, step on a stage of bodybuilding, compete at a high level in running or whatever the case may be, like there's no point in this like up and down, up and down, up and down. And I think like when you get into that rat race, it's like very easy to tell yourself like, oh, I can do anything for 6 weeks. I can do anything for 4 weeks, for 75 days, for whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as you stop because you had that mindset, all the old habits come back. And it's like you're waiting for that day to be
Right.
to come,
Mm-hmm.
the challenge to be over, because you're like, I hate all this. Like, I want to have a drink. I want to do this.
It's great to have a short-term end goal.
Yeah.
Like it really is great to be able to be like, okay, I've got my sights set on something, but to be able to take away from that 6 week and go, what habits did I truly change that I really did enjoy? Like,
yeah.
Like last episode, we talked about how you drink a gallon of water. And that was like the thing that trickled into everything else. It snowballed into like you really stacking habits and doing those things. But like what people miss is they go, okay, 6 weeks is over, back to doing everything I was doing before.
Yeah.
When you take a look, like those are the habits that got you to needing the 6 week challenge in the first place.
Exactly.
So like take apart what you learned in the 6 week challenge. And I do the Beefy Babes Club will do 6 week challenges twice a year.
Yeah.
Because I don't love them, but they do serve their purpose. I do like them. Because it kind of does like ignite a little bit of motivation.
Yep.
It gets them kind of, like circled back in to like, okay,
Grounded.
I need to prioritize this. But what I try to do in those 6 weeks is go, okay, week to week, here's what we're going to focus on. Here's how to make this stretch for the 52 weeks of the year, right?
And if you look at the challenge, whatever time limit it is, and if the only thing you get out of it is like you took one new habit away, like you found 30 minutes a day to work out, or you started reading, or and you carry that on, then like, yeah, that was a successful challenge.
Sure.
But if you're dreading it every day and looking to the end to go back how you were already living, there's like no reflection involved in it, then again, you're on this continuous rat race of every single New Year's, my goal is to lose weight. And like, if that's your New Year's resolution, I'm going to trigger some people right now.
Yeah.
Every single year, you're not doing something right. Because like your goal cannot be, I'm trying to lose weight every single year. Like,
well, yeah, like if it's the same 50 pounds, right?
Exactly.
Like if it's like, okay, you lost 20 pounds, okay, my goal is to lose 30 this year. That's cool. That's fine. But like, yeah, if your goal is to lose the same 50, and then last year was 50 pounds, this year it's 60 pounds, this year it's 70 pounds, like, then yeah, what you're doing necessarily isn't working.
Yeah.
I was going to say this last episode because we were talking about things that we would have done differently, but I saved it for this one. But it's to stop treating your body like a 21-day cleanse or a 75 hard or like a 6 week challenge. Even like your body, and this is what we were telling Michael, our guy over here, he's raising his hand. We were telling him about like the sooner that you recognize that your life is the rest of your life,
Your
that your
life is,
body
yeah.
is the rest of your life, it takes some of this pressure off a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of like, well, I have to do this in 30. I have to lose 50 pounds in 30 days. One, no.
No.
Two, but like people feel that pressure of like, well, I've got to like do all of it right now. I've got to like just, I've got to, I'm going to do all the extremes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be a carnivore. I'm going to be vegetarian. I'm going to go and do CrossFit 2 hours a day for 5 times a week. And they just start to really do all these things that aren't sustainable for them. But if
Yeah.
you can look at your, like you said last episode, the first thing, recognize your goal and go, okay, instead of focusing, sure, we'll do short sprints, but like there are habits that I'm doing that are not serving where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so I need to like work on dismantling those habits. And one is kind of that all or nothing mindset. I feel
Yeah.
like it's just like what we see all the time.
One, and that was also another one from mine last episode that I didn't bring up. A lot of this comes down to the way you're thinking about things, right? So, like, if you are thinking that me being healthy is a diet, like, let me actually back up. One of my biggest pet peeves is like when you go out to dinner or you're like with friends and it's almost like they'll be like, oh, well, you can't eat that, or oh, are you gonna eat this tonight and stuff. And it's like, dude,
Oh,
there is not a gun to my head telling me that
yeah.
like I'm not allowed to have this cake. I just don't want it.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
when you stop thinking of like healthy as a diet,
Mm-hmm.
or I mean even again, not everything has to be fitness, but you think of like this starting this business as like this horrible, like challenging, like thing, and you think about like long sustainable business you want to last a long time. When you stop thinking healthy is a diet and you start thinking of it as like, I just really like how I feel when I eat this
Yeah.
way. I like how I feel about myself. I like the way I look. It's not a diet. I actually enjoy eating my
Yeah.
chicken and rice, or I actually enjoy eating my salad. I just don't want
Right.
to eat that. And
Yes.
like people, they see that and they say, oh, you're on this diet, or oh, you can't break. And it's like, I'm not on a diet.
What's crazy to me is that like you go out to dinner and like that's people look at you funny because
Yeah.
you want to eat a salad, because you want to eat, I just want like the steak and Brussels sprouts, like I'm good on the sopapilla cheesecake, like no, and they look at that like you're crazy. But then the society that we're in right now doesn't bat an eye at you eating processed meals for every meal, processed foods for every meal. You like do splurge on pizza. You do split. Like, everyone thinks that that is the normal.
Yep.
When like eating, this is we're getting off topic, but like
Yeah.
eating whole foods is like not. That's what
It's
should be
not a
normal.
diet.
It's
It's
not a
just
diet.
eating. And I think because we think of it that way, that's what like propels and like initiates
Yeah.
that all or nothing mindset of
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, she doesn't want to eat this cookie, therefore she's on this restricted diet.
Mm-hmm.
And it puts all these restrictions around it. Same thing with the challenge, like you put all these restrictions like you're not allowed to. And it's like, no, real quick, I'm allowed to do whatever I want.
Yes.
I am choosing not to
Yeah.
because of X, Y,
Mm-hmm.
and Z, because I want to steward my body well, because I want to lose 30 pounds,
Right.
because I want to do these. Like, I'm choosing not to. Can I? I absolutely can. And you telling me,
Yeah.
like, oh, you can't have this? I'm like, I can 100% have it. And the
Right.
fact that it's bothering you so much,
Yeah.
like, really makes me not want, but,
I had a client ask the other day, and I love her. We're working on like dismantling this thing for her so that she can successfully lose weight and do this very sustainably for a long time. But she asked me, she goes, "Hey, how do you feel about cheat days?" And I was like, "Oh, you're still missing the point. Like
yeah,
you're
you're
still
not
missing
getting
the
it.
point. We can have the things that we enjoy." Wednesday, I was on my period, had a Reese's egg
Love those.
because I wanted it, because it
'Cause it,
sounded so good, and
yeah,
I'm not on prep. I don't care. I take care of myself. We talked about this last time. You do all of these things like
so that.
so that you can enjoy
Mm-hmm.
the other things, that there's that balance, right? The all or nothing mindset doesn't have any balance. It is like what you said, is very restrictive. It is
Yeah.
very like regimented and, well, I can't have
Yep.
anything. Well, I can't go do that. Well, I can't because like it's
And
what
it sets yourself up for failing.
yeah.
Like, you do this challenge, you miss one day, like that's like my, and we'll talk a little bit about 75 hard here in a second,
Mhm.
but that's like my biggest thing with that of like, oh, you failed, you have to start from day one. And it's like, you didn't, if you didn't have this whole restricted mindset, like you didn't fail. You wanted the Reese's egg, so
Yeah.
you had
I
a
mean, don't
little
say it
bit.
like that.
Like
Reese's.
you.
It's
Oh
Reese's.
yeah, yeah, we'll go back and forth
Reese's.
on that. Reese's
Do you
pecan or
say
pecan?
I was about to say, do you say pecan
Pe-
pecan or pecan?
pecan.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, we can end there. We can stop.
Yeah. I completely lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
If you want the Reese's egg.
Yeah, like you have it. You don't have to start over.
Right.
Like it's not a start over mindset. Like you're
Yeah.
not starting anything over. You're just the next meal you're eating exactly what you had planned regardless if you had the
Mhm.
Reese's.
Yeah, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I when I started my okay, we're gonna kind of go back a little bit. When I was still living with you,
Mhm.
and we went out for New Year's Eve.
Yes.
You, Kyle,
Mhm.
me, a bunch of the friends from the gym, and I was drinking.
Yeah.
And I was just like, not partying or
No.
pounding anything. Like we don't do that anymore. Can't
I don't
can't
got
do
that.
that.
I can't.
Can't do
I
that.
don't got
Can't
the
hang
energy.
anymore. Not because I get drunk. It's just because I literally have a headache. Like 2 drinks
Yep.
in. But I was drinking, and I was like, and it was New Year's Eve, and I get home. I'm not even intoxicated. Like I don't really. I'm like maybe a little buzzed. Like Kyle drove us home. Kyle doesn't drink.
Yeah.
And I just like woke up the next day. I felt gross. I
Mhm.
felt my skin felt nasty. Like you just feel like bleh.
Yeah.
And I was doing a little bit of a work before kind of like going to the gym, and because I was like,
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
because that's the other thing is like I did all this. I still have to do what I said I was going to do the next day.
Yeah.
You still have to go to the gym. You still have to go do your like normal duties in life. And I just like it was January 1st, and my buddy Brandon had just gone through a year of no alcohol.
Yeah.
Just wanted to be sober for a year. Cool. And it was like kind of sitting on me to do that because I knew that I was going to be in prep this year. I already knew my goals for this
Yeah.
year. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that. Not because I had a problem. Like
No.
I didn't like I
You
really
probably had 5 drinks that year.
yeah, I
Like-
really barely drink that much anyway, and if I do it's 1 or 2, a glass of wine, whatever, But I was like, I'm just not going to drink. And then as like the year kept going, and it kind of got easier to like not want a Dos Equis like on a hot summer day, want like a margarita with friends.
And to clarify, right? Like we had big things that was
Oh,
literally
yeah.
like we had my bachelorette party, we did my
Yes.
wedding. Like you had big things too. So it wasn't like you had this like year to like
Yeah.
it not do anything.
Right,
you know,
yeah.
like, yeah.
As it kind of went on, I was like, dude, I might not ever go back.
Mhm.
Like I was like, I might not ever drink again. And my dad has been sober for 28. Oh, I'm 30.
Okay.
I'm 34, so I'm like dating myself over here. He's probably been sober for 30 years.
Quit saying you're 34.
Dude, it just helps me. Okay, we'll be 34 in like 2 or 3 weeks.
She's really got a problem with this number.
Because I do that every year, dude.
Yeah,
I've done
I
that
know
since
you
I was
have.
27. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm like preparing myself.
Well, you won't catch me saying I'm 30 yet.
That's fine. Yeah, she's 29. Anyway, so he's been sober for 30 years, and and we've had this battle because I drank in college, and he hated it. Like he had every right to hate it. Looking back now, I'm like, yeah, you had every right to like absolutely hate why I did that.
Yeah.
But I just look now, and like, so the year was over, right? The year was over. Prep was done.
Yeah.
I got off stage. Literally 2 weeks, a week later, people were like, are you going to start drinking again? Instantly. And I was like,
No.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, not right now.
Why
Because
do
I
you
said
care
it.
so much?
Because I said I was going to
Yeah.
do it a year. And I was like, well, not right now, But like, and then the year rolled around. Are you going to start drinking again? Why does it matter? Like, it made me want to not.
Yes,
Like, it made me want to just be
exactly.
like, I'm never drinking again.
Uh-huh.
But really, it just goes back to people, like what is normal and what is not normal. Like
Yeah.
I have to be, you almost have to either do it or don't, like just be all in or don't be all in. Like if I were to go back to drinking, the only thing that I guess I really miss is like, if you can even say miss, I really don't miss it that much. Like, I don't even think about it, but like maybe
A
if
margarita and chips and queso. Come on now.
a margarita and chips and queso, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
A like, cause I do like tequila, but like a glass of wine at your
Yeah.
bachelorette party would have been awesome to just sit there and be like, but I got a virgin margarita. It was fine. Like it was good. It
And
was
it's
fine.
not like you look back and think, I really
I
wish I
wish,
had that one glass of like.
yeah, it's, but like I say all of that to talk about like the girl that asked me about cheat days. Like you're missing the point that
Yeah.
like you don't have to just sit on doing something like or not doing it at all. Like I took the year off because I had goals. I had really, really specific goals. I took the year off from drinking because I had really specific
Yeah.
goals. But then it changed my life.
Correct.
And then it like not because I had a problem,
Mm-hmm.
just because I felt better. I don't need it. It's fine. Like and I just wish more people would understand that like it's no one else's business. Like
Yeah.
what you do, you going out to like I'm going to wrap this conversation up because I looked at myself January 1st and I was like, when was the last time you told yourself no? Like, when was the last time you denied yourself of anything?
Mm-hmm.
You go and get a Starbucks drink whenever you want. You go and get, like, you go and have a beer if you want. You do, like, you have not told yourself no
Yeah.
in so long. Like, why can't we just, like, tell ourselves no every once in a while? Like, because she was asking about the cheat day, and I was like, just tell yourself no on a casual Wednesday to
Yeah.
not go out drinking with your friends. And then Thursday, like, because you know maybe you're going to go out on Saturday with them. Just tell yourself no in the week. Like, and then you're not dealing with a, like, this out of control, boundaryless lifestyle.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No,
Am
yeah, I
I,
get that. And I think like when you talk about the I didn't drink for a year, that sounds kind of like the all or nothing, right?
right.
We're talking about now. Like that was again for a specific goal.
Yeah.
Now, still not drinking, right? But it's not a restriction. It's I just don't want it.
Right.
And so it's the same thing with the cheat meals. It's the same thing with the people that are like starting these challenges, these whatever, that it's like all about restriction.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start looking at it that way, instead of like, if I want to, I will, it creates a whole different mindset. And I remember like a kind of the click that happened for me, or the epiphany that I had, was just like, big family functions or holidays or whatever, like Thanksgiving, for example, right? You like eat till you're miserable and like
Right.
do all of this stuff because it's like what you're supposed to do. And then, you're on this challenge and now you can't. Like, I
Yeah.
can't do it. And then it makes the whole day miserable
Right.
because you're like, I can't this and that. And instead, it's like, no, I absolutely can. If I want to have a piece of that pumpkin pie, I'm going to have it. And when I give myself that permission, I all of a sudden started noticing like I just stopped.
You can also
Like,
give yourself permission to say no
yeah, like
because it doesn't go along with the things that you're trying to do.
exactly. But like when you give yourself the permission, if you do want, so like there have been multiple times that I'm like, no, I actually do want to have this crumble cookie, this pumpkin, whatever.
Right.
And because I'm allowing myself and I'm not like guilting myself into like I can't have it, I'm
Mm.
going to have a bite or two, I'm going to have whatever, and then I'm just going to stop.
Right.
But it's like you put this restriction on it, and then one, you fail because you have it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you stuff your face and you're miserable later,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have this guilt trip, and then you got to start back over again. And it's like this whole cycle where instead you take away the restriction part. If you want it, great.
Right.
It's also okay to say no,
Mm-hmm.
right? It takes away the whole one, I failed, two, like I have to like binge on this, and then three, I have to start over.
Right.
It's like, no, I had a couple bites, like I'm not starting anything over. I stopped, I'm not interested anymore. Like
Yeah.
that it just changes the way you look at it. And the same thing with the thinking of healthy as a diet is that like it's not. Like I ask for no my meat not being cooked with oils at restaurants, and people are always making fun of me for it.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, and I don't even want to have to justify myself, but I'm like, I don't feel good. I'm not like this epitome of health. I'm so much better than
She's
you.
woo woo.
It's, yeah. It's like,
She's crunchy woo woo.
yeah, I just don't feel good when I eat it. And
Yeah.
if I want to enjoy the time that I'm like spending with you,
Right.
and am I miserable, like I'm not going to enjoy the time. So
Right.
like I'm going to do this again because it's how I want to live, not because I'm can't have it
Right.
type of thing.
The all or nothing mindset is just like so
It's just toxic.
riddled with restriction is
Yeah.
what I think what we're really trying to say. And what happens, like we'll go on the opposite side of that, not even just like about what you can't have, but say that you do the 75 hard,
Mm-hmm.
right? Say you do that. It's 75 has its place. Like again,
Yeah.
we are not here to demonize anything.
Yeah.
Like however, when you're done, you went balls to the wall for 75 days. So you did it, you didn't cheat, you didn't cheat, like I literally hate that word.
I know.
But you didn't fail in it. You didn't start over because that's the premise of it. Is that okay, now you're burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is also the flip side of going all in, is that now you're burnt out on something because it wasn't sustainable
Yeah.
for you. Like this coaching thing that I'm in with Nick and Kelly, one of the things that just stuck, like one of the first things Nick ever told me was like, well, yeah, extremes are easy, but balance takes effort.
Yeah.
Extremes are really easy to do. Like they're really easy. They're really easy for you to like mentally sign up
Because
for.
you turn your brain off. It's I can't do all
Right.
of these things.
And that's fine for, like I
a
said,
specific goal.
a specific goal, a sprint, whatever, cool. But like for a longevity purposes and what we're trying to get people to understand to be successful in their fitness journey is like you have to find something that sustainably works for the season that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
If you can take the 75 hard, and here's the thing, people will market this as like soft 75 or dude, just like
Stop labeling it.
choose 2 to 3 things,
Yeah.
stick with it, and like and do that, and then reevaluate in 6 weeks and go,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I want to change A, B, and C. I want this to be my new focus. I want this to be like, but the trick is to not burn yourself out, because then what happens is, and this again, trigger warning, is like what happens when I see clients binge.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when I see them gain all of that weight back? Because again, they couldn't look at what they learned, what they took away from the 75 hard, and apply it a little bit to the next like months of their life
Yeah.
or whatever. And 2 workouts a day, I think, is one of them, right? How can I take the 2 workouts a day and apply it to the rest of the year?
Mm-hmm.
1 workout a day, cool. 3 of those are in the gym. 4 of those are just 20-minute walks a day.
Yeah.
There, like there, you fixed
There you
it.
go.
You're not like binging. You're not going back. You're not like doing things that the habits that you were doing while you needed the 75 in the heart, like in the first place. And I think that that's also what they're trying to get out of it. That's why we're not demonizing it. But like,
Yeah.
I just want people to understand that it's the all or nothing mindset is either nothing at all or everything all at once, but neither are sustainable, and neither
Correct.
are going to get you to where you do want to be.
Yeah. And I think because when I was thinking about us talking about that, I'm like, obviously I've been guilty of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what is the initial appeal? Like, what's the initial appeal? And I think you hit a little bit of that with I forgot what you said.
Extremes are easy.
Extremes are easy,
Mm-hmm.
discipline, or excuse me.
Well, it's because A, B, and C weren't working.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, this wasn't working. So now I'm going to be carnivore for 2
Yep.
weeks. Now I'm going to do this. And because that wasn't, well, then that doesn't work because it's not, that's the shiny object.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this is working for, and Instagram can be a really difficult place
It is.
to see that, because
Yes.
it's like you see this super shredded guy and you're like, oh, well, he has great testosterone and he has, he's an alpha and he's walking around and he's carnivore.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
I'm also
carnivore.
gonna do it.
And you're 40 pounds overweight and you have a drinking problem. And like you have all these other issues that we really need to address first before you, I'm not going to say you
Yes.
should do carnivore, but before you go and do anything extreme.
Yeah. And I think going on that, like we see social media is amazing, and it's also very dangerous, but
Yeah.
we see the before and after.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see the before after.
What do you mean?
So like, you see the client's before and after picture, or they talk about how they felt before and how they felt after. Well, let's check back in 6 months after. Like, why are they starting that same challenge over again. We don't always
Yeah.
see the before and after and after. Um, and so like that, because that's not flashy. That's not like, that's not going to
Mm-hmm.
convince you to like do that.
Right.
All these like new things that are coming out again, like we see the before and after, but we don't see like, I think about like Biggest Loser,
Oh
right? You see
yeah.
these cool
Yeah.
things because it's this massive extreme, and then 95% of them all gain their weight back, and you're
Yeah.
like, but we don't advertise that part.
Right.
And so like for somebody new in the business, or somebody who like really truly does want to change how they're living, it's so appealing to these big challenges because you fix all these problems all at once.
Right.
75 hard fixes so much, right? It
Yep.
shows you that you have time during the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
It gets you in the gym. It has you eating healthy, has you stimulating your mind, reading.
Right.
It's all of these things are really good. And so we see it as this very quick fix to all of my problems. But again, it sets you up for failure, because when you don't hit that and you start back over, and then you're in this process of, I can't do all of these things, and I'm in this cycle for a year. And I kind of think about like, I say all of this, right? But like, if me and you were to go do 75 hard, like we were both like, hey, let's do 75 hard tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that would mean? It would literally mean we take a picture every day instead of once a week,
Yeah.
because we already do all of the other
Right.
things, right? So again, all of the things in 75 hard, they're great. And like, you can get to a point like 75 hard would not, and I don't want to say this because there are sacrifices you have to make, but like, it wouldn't be that hard for us to go and do,
Mm-hmm.
because we've slowly built in these habits of getting a workout in, and then
I
also going for an outside walk, and then also reading 10 minutes a day, and then also
emphasis
drinking
slowly.
slowly.
Emphasis slowly.
Yeah, and
Like,
that was like kind of the point I wanted to make of you can get to a point where those things are very easy for you to
correct.
accomplish. But it doesn't start there. It
Mm-hmm.
starts with, like I brought up last episode, my snowball effect was drinking a gallon of water, and that's like all I did. I literally, I remember this. I did two things. I drank a gallon of water. I literally carried the stupid jug
Mm-hmm.
around,
Mm-hmm.
and I made it a point to walk the dogs when I got home from work before sitting down, because I
Mm-hmm.
knew if I sat down, like, you
Game
go
over.
on, get back, get
Yeah.
back up. Wasn't counting steps, wasn't doing that. I just did those two things, and then like that inspired me to like hire my coach and start working on
Right.
these things and getting better at this, and over time I got to a place where like I don't think about 10K steps. Like probably in the last 2 years I might have missed 5 days of steps.
Right.
Like it's so not hard because I started there, and that was like the very first one. Then you start the next thing, and it becomes this snowball effect
Mm-hmm.
of being able to do those things, and that's what's then sustainable. But you take somebody who's not doing any of those things, you say do all of them, you don't do all of them because you just have this ceiling,
Mm-hmm.
and then you fail and you start back over, and then you're continue the cycle over and over
Yeah.
and over again.
So I think we've talked about like maybe the negative side
Yeah.
of the all or nothing. Let's talk about like what we would tell everyone who was maybe struggling with that, like where to start.
Yeah.
And like how to combat that, and like
Mhm.
where to really place their priorities first
Yeah.
rather than doing that. And this is where I have my clients start, because they do come to me and they're like, I have all of these problems. I don't know how to fix them.
Mhm.
Like, because it is overwhelming, because starting your fitness journey, or, being really like, people come to me, and this is like my biggest pet peeve, I think, is like, I keep falling on and off the wagon.
Yep.
I keep falling on and off the wheel. There is no wheel. There is no wagon. Like,
This is life.
this is just life. Like, and the quicker that we can realize that, again, like I talked about in the beginning of this episode, the sooner you can kind of go, okay, this is for life, but this is where I'm at right now. I think the two things that I have my clients start is like, okay, tell me your ideal life.
Mhm.
Tell me this, like, let's future pace for a second.
Yeah.
Like, tell me, what does she do? What is she wearing? What is her morning routine? What is her evening routine? Like, what is your ideal version of you doing? And they'll be like, oh, wow, I wish that I could get up at 5 a.m., have time to myself, drink my coffee, do my devotional, do whatever. And
You're
then,
like, stop there. Let's
Yeah.
talk just
Yeah. And then like, oh, she's wearing this and she has this promotion at this job, blah, 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 blah. Like they go in all this thing. Cool. What are we doing now that is not what she's doing?
Yep.
Like, what are we doing now? Okay, well, I'm I'm getting up 30 minutes before I have to be at work, like before I have to log in or you work from home or something. Or I'm getting up 30 minutes before I need to leave for work. So I'm already stressed. My cortisol is super, super high rather than like normally high because it's highest in the morning, but
Yeah.
like it's super high. I'm trying to get everything. I didn't have time to pack my meal. So now I'm eating this at lunch. Now I'm getting home and I've got to run this errand and this errand. So I don't have time to go to it's just this snowball effect of like, okay, cool. Now let's start with our non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Now let's start with, rather than looking at all of the issues we need to fix, what's just three? What is
Yeah.
just three little commitments you can make to yourself every day? Not for 75 days.
Just every day. Yeah.
Just one day at a time every day. Like, okay, arbitrary number, 7K steps a day. I would like to journal for 5 minutes in the morning, spend time in the Word, whatever. And then I want to get some sort of movement in every day. One of those can be the gym that day. Tuesday can be you're getting a walk. Wednesday can be you go to yoga. Thursday, like, it doesn't matter. Just those three. Cool. Let's do that for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's reevaluate.
Yeah.
Then, like, can you add another one to where all of this doesn't seem so much,
Yeah.
like so overwhelming?
Yep.
I want you to be able to meet you where you're at, build daily habits to get to essentially that future paced person, because like that is very much what I did.
Yeah.
Very much what you did.
Yep.
We would not have this podcast.
Yeah. Right.
Literally. Like
Yeah.
I think about I'm like, we would not have this because like I showed up for myself in little ways over time that like eventually like that discipline bleeds into other parts of your life.
Exactly.
So the cool thing about 75 hard, and I will say this, and like when you do finish a challenge, look at yourself and be like, if you did it successfully and you finish, like, cool, you can look at yourself and be like, man, I did that.
Yeah.
Man, like I proved to myself that I could do something for a short-ish amount of time and be successful at it. Cool. What else can I do?
Exactly.
Like, what else can I like rather than going, I did that, oh my God, now what? Like, I think that that's just kind of where the all or nothing mindset lies, is like, I'm all in and then I'm all out. It's over. I'm done. Cool. I'm out. Peace out.
Well, and I think, again, like I really do like what Challenges in 75 Hard
Yeah.
promote.
Yeah.
So like we can't make that clear enough, right?
Yeah.
The difference is I just don't think it's the place you start.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, you look at you doing bodybuilding, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to turn to your clients and be like, you need to compete. To be successful, you had that is a in time goal that you had due to all this time that you worked on yourself to get you in the spot to be able to do something hard like that.
Right.
Same thing for 75 hard. And kind of a harsh reality that, like, because I've had people, good friends, ask me to like, hey, what do you think about this? And like in the most loving way, I always want to be like, okay, why do you think you can do this, but you literally can't commit to drinking a gallon of water for 30 days? Like, just that one in isolation.
Right.
But you think that doing this all or nothing is all of a sudden going to make you successful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do 75 hard.
Yeah.
Make that your goal for 30 days from now.
Right.
So say on, what is it, on May 4th, I'm going to do this. But for the next 30 days, all I'm going to do is get a gallon of water in.
Yeah.
Prove to yourself you can do this small thing. Again, it's all about the building trust with yourself before you go do that, because I just don't, it's hard to kind of not laugh. Obviously I made the mistakes, but it's like, if you can't do the one thing, why are you going to do 10?
Right.
If you can't do the one thing for 1 week, why do you think you're going to do 10 things for 75 days?
Yeah.
And so I love, I'm obsessed with James Clear and Atomic Habits and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite quotes is he says, all the magic happens at 32 degrees. And the explanation, if you haven't read it, 10 out of 10 recommend. But he gives this visual of setting an ice cube on a counter,
Mm-hmm.
and slowly over time you change the temperature in the room 1 degree,
Mm-hmm.
change the temperature in the room 1 degree. Maybe you start at 80, and so every day you go down one, and this crazy thing happens. The day you turn it to 32 degrees or whatever, or the opposite, whatever I'm getting at, turn it up 1 degree,
Right,
and
right,
at
right.
32,
Yeah.
the ice cube starts to melt.
Right.
And everybody looks at you and they're like, you had results overnight. Like,
Yeah.
what did you do?
Yeah.
And it's like, but you didn't see for the last 2 years, all I've done is made this teeny tiny improvement every day. And I was very
Mm-hmm.
consistent at this teeny tiny improvement. And so it looks like all these results happened overnight, but it didn't. And I remember that happened specifically for me in the last 2 years of like, I've been in the gym forever. And like this, over the last 2 years, I've lost like what, 30 pounds or something
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was a point where people were like, "Man, you look great! Like you look great!" And I mean, it means a lot, but it was like it didn't happen overnight.
Right.
Like it was small, tiny changes over time, and like I proved to myself I could do that tiny change, so that now if I want to do something that's extreme,
Like bodybuilding
or
or
like
yeah.
bodybuilding, or a competition or something, or even just a challenge, just cuz like I have the confidence, the skills, the ability to do so, because I'm not changing 10,000 things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm adding one little
Right.
extra element of discipline, two little extra elements of discipline, or whatever the case may be, and I've built up that confidence over time. And
Sure.
so it's like I get wanting to change everything at once. I still am guilty of that.
Mm-hmm.
I still
Yeah.
listen to podcasts and I'm like, okay, I got to go do this,
I'm
this,
gonna
this, and
change
this.
my
I'm going to
life
change
right
everything.
now.
Yes. I'm starting
Everything.
this business tomorrow. Um, but it's like you apply the same thing. Like that's how I've kind of gotten used to it in the fitness side of things. And now it's, getting out of the Marine Corps and everything. I'm like looking at what's next, and I want to do this and this and this and this all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, just apply the same principles.
Yeah.
Like you want to start this business, do the one thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like even this,
Yeah.
like just start the podcast, just start the one thing, and then
Yeah.
slowly work on like, we're not, like when we talked about this, it was never like, I want to be the next Joe Rogan.
Well, I do, but no, I'm just kidding.
Right. But like, that wasn't the goal starting it. It's like,
Yeah.
cool, could we get there one day? Absolutely. But like, it doesn't start. You got to actually just start the one thing
Yeah.
to propel yourself.
I think to like really like kind of bring everything together is just starting with one thing and watching those little small daily habits
Mhm.
stack up, like, and you building the confidence within yourself and the trust within yourself to follow through on something. What happens with the all or nothing is that there is no trust built.
Yep.
Because what I see happen a lot with clients who have done that in the past is they look and they're like, I'm so ashamed that I didn't like either stick with the challenge or that the challenge didn't work or that something. And I'm like, that cool. Like that's, it didn't work. And we can like sit here and really pull apart as to why it didn't. But like, I would love to see more people. You can shame yourself to an end goal.
You can.
And you can love yourself to an end goal.
One is way more pleasant.
One is way more pleasant. So like one, I would rather go, okay, that didn't work. And here's why, because I wasn't ready for that, because I needed to do this instead. Like you said, just really, I needed to drink a gallon of water, show myself that I could drink a gallon of water every day for 2 weeks. And then I could go back and like, okay, now I want to track protein. Now I want to, because I wasn't ready for that. Like I just was trying to make the bigger agreement rather than just small daily agreements with myself every day. And so we just want you guys to understand that like when you're training for essentially like whatever your goal is, necessarily losing weight or a competition, like you want to do a high rocks at some point, you want to do something, like choose it, great. But like then also
don't be discouraged by this saying that like we're saying like, oh, you can never do these things.
But just like take a look and take an inventory over your life and go, okay, what are 2 to 3 things I can do just like right now to show myself that I can trust myself to make these changes.
Yeah.
Because then you will be able to like, we go back to 75 hard, but like then you will be able to go back and like kind of check off those things and be like, oh, I do those already anyway. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, and again, whatever's the most successful for you, whatever you feel is going to get you there the most,
and
in a sustainable way.
Yeah, absolutely. And And I think too, like, I think if I was listening to us talk 5 years ago, right?
Right.
Again, it's kind of this like a little bit annoying
Oh my god,
of
because
like, I'm
you
so tired of hearing people say this.
remember the flag that used to have like
Nobody cares, work harder.
nobody cares, work harder. Like that was
Yes,
Abigail.
that was me.
Yeah.
It's it's not fun to hear somebody say like, I want you to do nothing but go for a walk for 30 minutes every single day, because like in your mind you're like, that's not going to change anything, that doesn't solve my problems, it doesn't do this. Even like, somebody's stressed with money and I'm like, I want you to do nothing but stop getting Starbucks every day. They're
Right.
like, that's really not going to change everything. And I get it because I've been there.
Right.
Like, I also did not bite off on that.
Mhm.
But I'm like, I just sometimes want to shake people and be like, please bite off on what I'm saying way earlier than I did.
Yeah,
Because that, I
it's
mean,
yes.
literally, I think that took me probably like 7 years to actually finally just
Yes.
accept. And it came to a point where it's like, nothing else is working.
Yeah.
Like, these are
Oh,
clearly
let
not
me say, let
working.
me do what they actually said that like that I was just like rolling my eyes at.
Yes.
Same.
And it's like, I know somebody is listening, like, whatever. I'm still going to do my 75 hard. And I'm like, great, go for it.
Yeah.
But when it doesn't work again and you get so sick of your own crap,
Yeah, aren't you tired?
aren't you tired?
Aren't you tired?
Like, just try the simple thing that you're essentially
Avoiding.
avoiding and just see.
Yeah.
Just see.
And
It's
we're
like,
just laughing because we've done it. Like that's
exactly.
it. We're
It's,
laughing because we've done it,
uh-huh,
and we're just it's a conversation that we've had with ourselves over and over. Like, aren't you tired of making the same mistakes,
over and over.
being in the same relationships, not saving any money? Aren't you like just you don't have to like just make a decision,
Mm-hmm.
just make one and like stick to it, build that trust within yourself, and then watch your life just completely change
It's
trajectory.
all like I've done a whole lot of like money stuff recently, right? So it's like the whole compounding interest.
Mm-hmm.
And you think it, just if you could see how much compounding interest, investing at 19 versus
Right.
waiting till you're 30, how much more you have saved up. It's the same thing with fitness. So it's like wherever you're at right now, if you would just bite off on this concept now, you will be 8 million times better than all of us,
Yeah.
like, or the two of us,
Mm-hmm.
because of compounding interest and how crazy it's going to just change your fitness journey, your financial journey, or like all of that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. Like, just pick the small thing
Yeah. And stick with it.
and stick with it.
Um.
Not for 30 days, not for 75 days.
Yeah.
Literally just every day. It's just your new non-negotiable.
Right. That's episode 3, guys. We just wanted to make that one really short and sweet. We had something that was really on our hearts to talk about. Obviously. Yeah, like,
I could keep
subscribe.
going.
She really could. I'm the one that's like, hey man, we
Yeah.
gotta cut this off. No, thanks for joining us again. Episode 3. Every Wednesday
Yeah.
we're dropping an episode. So
And I'll say too, last thing before we close, like, if there's a specific topic that you guys want to hear from us, let us know. Obviously, we have a lot we want to talk about.
or
but-
don't, because we're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Without you. Anyway.
We can come up with all our own ideas, but
Yeah.
if there's something specific, let us know.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a great day.
Yep. Bye.